I guess a direct definition would be someone who's got an Indian father and Chinese mom, or vice versa. So my dad's also mixed himself, and my grandparents are Chinese and Indian. So my grandfather is Indian, and although he was born in Malaysia, his ancestry dates back to Tamil Nadu in southern India. And my grandmother is Chinese, but she was adopted into a Baba Nyonya family, where race was still quite a big issue. They met in 1930, and they started to date for a few years, but in secret. Eventually, my great-grandfather, the Chinese side, found out, and he was infuriated. He even called my grandfather Hakian, which meant the Black Devil. So he forbade her from, seeing him and all that, and but obviously they were in love, and they eventually decided to get married. And after that, she was disowned from her Chinese family. So my dad, when he was growing up, he never knew his Chinese side at all. Because he never knew who his grandfather or his grandmother was. There were still objections to the marriage, and I remember my father saying that his grandmother was against the whole marriage right from the start. Probably for about a year, but they warmed up to it because my grandmother was very open to learning the Indian culture. So to an extent where she embraced the Indian culture by learning how to speak Tamil and cooking really wonderful Indian cuisine. So I think that kind of warmed up my great-grandmother as well. My father used to say that he used to go to the markets with his mom, and they would have this puzzled look, this Chinese woman speaking in Tamil, it's just almost unheard of, at that time in 1930s, 1940s, So I think it's a bit of a forgotten subculture. I think growing up in Malaysia, there's always been this emphasis with, ticking a box basically if you're either Malay or Chinese or Indian. So there still isn't an understanding that, you could belong to two cultures at the same time and appreciate two cultures at the same time. And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to capture in the project.